Hi, everyone. Today I'm going to actually answer a question from one of you, my audience members. It's from Lots of Love Kelly. Thank you. And just real quickly, you're watching the Open Bedroom Doors YouTube channel. I'm Angela Skurtu. I help couples who are best friends take their relationship from the friend zone to the sexy zone by normalizing conversations about sex. If you would like to find out more about my business, please visit openbedroomdoors.com and submit a contact form to find out all about my cool events and products. All right, let's get right to the question. So Kelly asks, what are risky moves on top? And actually, Kelly gave me some very specific questions. So I'm going to answer these to the best of my ability. But thank you, Kelly, for being specific in these questions. So Kelly asks, do you think using condoms make injury more or less likely when you're on top? So she's talking about a female being on top of a guy. And she says, do condoms put more pressure on the erection to maintain its structural integrity? So, I'm not sure that I've seen condom usage do more to add injury, but I will say to that second question, I have seen quite a few guys struggle with keeping their erections when they have a condom. Where the problem is for that actually is that as they are in the moment, sometimes they get nervous, like to put it on as quickly as possible. And in the process of putting it on, their brain gets out of that like sexy, hot space. So that's when they're struggling when they're getting their erection. Most guys, if they, so here's the strategy for that. If you practice putting on condoms when you're masturbating, then you just get used to it, right? So like what a lot of guys need to do is essentially masturbate, get used to getting to erection, used to noticing what it feels like in your body when you're in a space where you could probably maintain that erection. Then just practicing being really cool, calm, and collected and putting that erection on. I will say for the woman who is on top, sometimes it's more painful. Actually, I can put myself out there. I used to use condoms back when I was dating. And personally, it would be a little painful using condoms for me, just because it's not the same as skin. But there's a remedy for that too. You can use lubrication. So back in the day when I was dating and using condoms, I always had condoms and a good water-based lubricant. And that helped me to have less pain. And I think it ended up being like the longer I would use the condom or I would use it with my partner, essentially, the longer I was using it, then it was more painful personally. I don't know that I ever felt like an injurious experience. It just felt uncomfortable. And I don't know if I've heard men say that they're having any sort of like more pain or less pain either, but you can always make sure you get a very lubricated condom to help with that. Then there can be a pro and con too. So another thing that goes on with lubrication is sometimes too much slipperiness also impacts friction. And so all of these things are like these little tweaks that can make a big difference in whether you like the sexual experience or not. So I'll answer another question. Do you think intercourse is more dangerous for the erection when the vagina is less lubricated? I think this one can go either way, because if you think about it, there's a big erection and you're kind of slipping out. Like being more lubricated could mean that the penis slips out more quickly or easily. But also it can be painful if the vagina is less lubricated for the penis to not like feel like it's slipping in easy. So I definitely think that a penis can kind of be bent a different way, and it can be a little bit uncomfortable for both the penis owner and the vulva owner. And so I think it really depends. Like when you're first getting on the penis, just take it slow, like find your way in there, get slow, get used to each other's bodies. And that's a way to prevent that. But it also depends on your grind. Here's where it gets a little tricky. Some women, when they're on the top, are more grinders. So a grinder is somebody that like literally grinds the front of their vulva on top of the pelvic bone of the man that they're riding, right? And so if you're a grinder, you're going to have less injury because once you're planted on there, you just kind of scoot your hips, do this and that and up and down. And so as long as you're like planted on that penis, you're not going to have the same experience of potential damage, right? But if you are a high rider, and actually this was speaking to another question of hers, she was like, are the riskiest moves when the female partner on top rides high, so the penis almost or does come out at a high speed. And yes, yes. So like if you're a female that's like a bit like you like to go up and down, then yeah, you are definitely going to have more risk for harm or painful experiences because especially if you're going, oh, then like, yeah, you could accidentally miss. And so it's not to say don't do it. It's just to say, yeah, there's a higher risk for potentially landing on that penis in a painful way. And then the final question was, do you think the penis is more at risk when fully engorged versus semi-erect when a woman is on top sex position? It's the same question or answer I said before. It depends on if she's a grinder or if she lifts up and goes down. So with a grinder, probably going to be less chance to damage the penis or the vulva, but with somebody who rides high, there might be more potential to land on it. So if you want to learn more, please like, subscribe, and submit comments below. I do have a book. You can check out my book, From Fuck No to Fuck Yes, on Amazon, and please leave a review on Amazon. But I'm Angela Skurtu, and I open bedroom doors.